Untitled ever, 2 poems for x-o-lalia, amore, breastplate, corset, winged book for slip of the tongue at Murmurs, LA, 30th of June, 2019. 1. I was hired under the auspices of inimitable origin. That became a pattern. A repetitive, compulsive attention calls me to my duty. Whatever I neglect, I hope by the space I give it, it's improving. A migraine seemingly pulls the blood away from something and into a root pattern, a wing. I grafted into my own life the iron whose lack thereof would cause my anemia, or a kind of desert, a kind of eternal place on earth. In my childhood backyard, I dug a 7-foot composting hole at the age of 9 and effectively moved about 21 square feet of clay, which formed a knoll after years of rain. I move too much sometimes, and the water delivers straight to my arm. When this happens, it fills my skin. My arms swell. I've been in my bathtub for 15 hours on my day off, and I reach out to celebrate this funny little life with you. The water spills out my ears, every orifice, the nectar of folly. I tell you, I have the drying kinetics of an eggplant, the detuning of a violin, the wet of warping wood. All the moments I have identified with the tool, all these are personal, experiential examples of the redistribution of water, the cellular vessels and haptic pleasures of plumbing the thumb into moisture, and engaging alchemies which articulated for me how I might possibly change the eternal Holocene flood. When I complex, I fly over the dryads, I make my own wings. When I simplify, I have to set down my wings. I, St. Francis, fold all of my things, so flesh and blood can tie us more properly to receive the iron of the earth, a hard-on, a soft-on, the release of tension that has sometimes built up towards nothing. That is life, that's my job. These are my hands, and that doesn't mean it's dull to kiss. I just have my work set out for me. I write this on sabbatical. I'm in the city of angels on earth as it is in heaven. 2. Tintinnabulation is a twinkling of bells and whistles and coins. Things change to remind me that anything I'd ever know in one moment is subject to time and space. Sorry about that ominous sound. I think it's feedback. I didn't plan it. I didn't do so much of anxiety.
Tilt the mic up. Tilt the mic up for a little bit. Yeah. That keeps falling.
Let me start. 2. Tintinnabulation is a twinkling of bells and whistles and coins. Things change to remind me that anything I would ever know in one moment is subject to time and space, both distances, through which bells communicate their messages through air. Telepathy. Nothing I have ever paid time to in a brain is afforded any eternal unit. Nothing I've ever breathed has had inherent meaning. Of gray matter between so-called human constituent polarities, males and females ring a bell. The increased volume but lower density in either of these examples can take up the same amount of space and energy. Finding a gray zone in governmental regulations can only give you as much freedom as you can when you stare into the gray in an unsupervised setting alone and find the courage to look in the eyes of starlight in the alone. The hours, the days, they say, they just go by. A synthetic opioid can shut down breathing in less than a minute. A really high idling speed can run for miles, thinking. Even as the throttle pedal is not depressed, I think of all my strange pilgrimages and how we could have just gone on living, and how you didn't have to sell them anything, and how I'd love to promise you they would still have wanted to be there, to hang out. Is this what I want to call why Jupiter is hanging out the window so I can remember it is beyond me? Whether there are other options glimmering, that glimmer is the largest planet in our solar system, that is the crumb in the thumb of the sky between the trees that watches me the way that hunger is in the eye. I could ask a behavioral economist to look at you, but I don't want to. The origin of the word credit is the Latin credere, to trust, to believe, and the origin of the word value comes from the Latin valere, to be worth. And I wish you the very best of any life. I extend myself with more time, but I wish you the most equal time. If you ask me now, I did wish I was a nurse because every interaction with a healthcare provider is a chance to bring someone into treatment. And they're trying to take us away, and I can't even be who I was supposed to myself 9 times out of 10. Thank you, Ethan. Here you were in the gray you wrote, can't wait till it's warm, gonna ride to the beach, gonna ride to the bar, gonna ride to my friend, gonna ride to the park, gonna ride to the cafe, gonna ride to the store. I think my favorite feeling is having 2 drinks and getting really high and riding my bike fast in dark curves. And hey, hey, yeah, and I wanna ride like a Tulsa queen, calling out to you like he calls me. The deserts are largely unknown most of our lives. Only some live there. Terra incognita, the place discovered. After Aramidia walked out, I think, one is Latin, the other Greek, the hand inside, another hand. I feel I say that right, walking out, across low pile of carpet to a screen door, swinging, with all the wrong words singing how abandonment is a painful negotiation of static electric force. Force, the subject of a religious playing field, or upbringing. Simone Weil. When you leave your hometown, neither Aramidia nor Terra immediately exists. The girl leaves her old body to become a young woman, and damn, she used to do everything there. She stood there, her eyes fixed on the eternal spheres, entranced. Gas station color contacts are illegal. She may or may not have had turned into a pillar of salt living here. Who knows? But she saw a girl in her turning. Looking back, yeah, it was really bad. I was in the neighborhood when it was predominantly whack. My eyes, withdrawn from high, were fixed on her, awake forever, on Gunner in the summer, in love with oblivion, obligated to live on. One inclination is historical narrative, stick figure slowed twice after 3 hits. Another inclination is mannequin challenge, staged false weaponry, no harm, our wide-legged Centaurian angels, creepers on ketamine, big shoes. What decorum, strapped in bodies vaguely athletic, the group vaguely dynamic, the cavalry, the tragedy of the house. The subject can be fucked through meshware with a pin, their embattlements remote, tensile, microscopic pains, tattoo. I open my door beneath the awning of an arc that is a hyperextended arm, a subtle contortion for the soul that requires an inward turn to find its way out inside herself. The body is a conch. Listen, torque into me, the ocean. The arms sway, now your legs must pivot one and then the other to say it back, and lastly, the head, and then you're gone, hanged man in reverse. Es rever ni nam degna et. The door swings about a single axis, the staircase spirals above or below, the feet went, and the arm leans. Last. In the corner of my eye, the centaurs pounding their platforms in the ground with their thighs. A cigarette rolls between the cobbles and continues to sinter. At any moment, water is spilling. The chocolate needs to be tempered constantly, and a gelatinous stew is coagulating late into the night at the family party in a melamine bowl. A tub is slow to drain, and someone is standing to their calves thick in their own rain. The Midwesterner is wearing their hair wet to work more often than Southwesterners do, but a sunset there more likely resembles a bruise filled with blood. The words coral and corral are more apparent there. Well, they have Arizona and we Indiana. The sky is overcast here more than half the year. Northerners passed over it unarable, and then the Southerners rushed in and tamed it with anxious animal. Those details swirl around us in thrill. The wild oblivion, the detritus and dust, and then generative force is somewhere. A seal running through a field in gym shorts. Lately, a cup of coffee that led to sleep. A slice of pizza returned on the floor. The syrup more like blood. IHOP, the closest analogy. Can you hear this music of our lives ticking with its little times? Yet